Hi, and welcome to Pet Pals. Every week we showcase animals from the Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. We look at animals that are looking for a second chance in adoptive family. I'm Linda Shea. With me today is Randy Cooper. The first little guy we're going to take a look at is Chewy. Chewy's about 5 years old. He came to us previously owned, and he used to live with 5 dogs and a cat and small children. And the reason Chewy was turned into our shelter is the owners claim that he did not get along with the other dogs. And sometimes we look at the intake information. We ask owners that are relinquishing pets to give us as much information as they can, but we look at the dynamics of a small child, 5 other dogs. So I don't know what those breeds are. It's possible that Chewy was just intimidated. I don't know what the other dogs' temperaments were like, but what we found about Chewy, he tends to be a little bit shy, but as you can tell, he fits well on a lap. He's very comfortable being a lap dog. We do behavior assess all of our dogs to see how they interact with other dogs, and he's done fine here at the shelter. So sometimes it is just a personality issue with one specific dog or 2 specific dogs. But Chewy's here now. He's about 5 years old. He's about 12 pounds. We do have him designated as to go to a home where he would be successful. Most would be either an adult home only or with older children. And that's primarily because he is a little bit shy with strangers, does not respond well to quick movements or noise or that type of thing. So for his best interest and to make a successful adoption, we've slated him for adult home only or older children. And of course, that is all subjective. So if you have older children that are well-behaved, well-mannered, dog-savvy, that would definitely make a difference in an adoption. So again, this is Chewy. He's 5, so he qualifies for a senior dog discount, even though he's not really senior at 5 years old, but we offer that out there. So again, this is Chewy. You can see he's perfectly happy in a lap and looking for a forever home. This is Cleo. Cleo is a very sweet little girl. She's about 2 to 3 years old. She came to us as a stray, ironically, from the Gas House Pike area. And every time we look at dogs like this, and we're like, how can you be a stray? How can somebody not be looking for you? But she came in around August 14th, and sometimes you'll see animals on Pet Pals that we have showcased before, that they've been on the show before. Especially with strays, sometimes we do that deliberately to give them another option for an owner or possible person that lost this dog to see them on TV or to have a neighbor see. So that's why Cleo is on here. She is about 28 pounds now. She would do much better maybe with a 3-pound weight loss, but anytime you're looking at an animal's weight, you want to definitely confer with your vet. Just talk to your veterinarian about the best way to make weight loss happen. Being overweight for animals, similar to people, is not good. It puts a lot of stress on their joints, on their back, especially when you have a dog like Cleo. She's very long-bodied, so you want to make sure that you manage her weight so that she is as healthy as she can be. Again, about 2 to 3 years old. We brought her up to speed on all the vaccines that she needs, including a rabies vaccine. Prior to leaving here, she will be spayed. She will be microchipped, so in the event she gets her beagle nose to the ground and wanders off after something more exciting than the backyard, we can easily return her to her owner if she gets away. We do have her color coded as orange, and we've done a number of meet and greets with Cleo and potential adoptive families. And it looks like Cleo, we're not going to rule out placing her with another dog family, but somehow she seems to prefer to be the only dog, so she would do best in a family that either has no dogs at the moment or is dog savvy and willing to work on introducing them slowly to make sure that that relationship works. But if you're interested in meeting Cleo or doing a meet and greet, you want to call ahead and make sure that she's still available for adoption. But this is Cleo, again, our little beagle mix. This little girl is Luna. She's a poodle mix, also about 2 to 3 years old, and she came to the shelter within the past week. She was originally found as a stray off of Willowdale Drive near Tasker's Chance area. So again, if this is your dog, you think it's your dog, if you have a neighbor that's missing a dog, you really want to send them to animal control. We are the only animal shelter in the county, so regardless of whether you live in Frederick City, regardless of whether you live down the street from us, like Luna, the place where Luna was found, or if you're in the far corners of the county, Emmitsburg, Adamstown, Newmarket, Mount Airy, we're the only shelter. So more than likely, if you're missing a pet, if a citizen has found it and turned it in, this is the place they would turn it into. If we are called out for animals that are running at large, this is the place where those animals are brought to by our officers. So Luna is a poodle mix, about 10.5 pounds, was found about a week and a half prior to the time that she was brought here. So another option, and sometimes folks are reluctant to bring animals to the shelter. If you're reluctant and you have a pet in your possession that you found as a stray and you're not sure what to do, at the very least, please call us with that information. Call in the information, describe the pet that you have, tell us where you found it. A lot of times there's misunderstanding or miscommunication. Anybody who's had a dog or cat knows that there's a probability that they might escape inadvertently. You might not let them out deliberately, but if you've got neighbors that leave the gate open, if you've got small children in your neighborhood that come into your backyard to fetch a frisbee or a ball, they might leave the gate unlatched. If you have visitors for the holidays, they might not understand the concept of keeping the cat inside the house. So we understand things happen. So if you do find a pet that's running at large, that's stray, that appears to be friendly and might belong to somebody else, and you don't want to bring it to us directly, please call us with that information. A lot of times we're able to match up animals, so to speak, in the field. A person will call in a lost report, they're missing their poodle, somebody calls in a found report, they found a poodle, and we can make that match. But in the case of Luna, the person that found her had her for about a week and a half with no luck finding an owner, so now she's here looking for a forever home. She's a great little girl. Prior to leaving here, she'll be spayed. She does have some health issues as far as an umbilical hernia that we can take care of at her time of her spay surgery, and she's got some weak knees going on. So if you're looking at this kind of dog, you want to make sure that you look at her medical prior to adoption. This little girl is not quite so little. This is Raven. She is a German Shepherd. She's about 11 months old, and the reason that Raven was turned into us, her owners acquired her as a puppy, and now they are moving and they're unable to take her along. The two top reasons that animals are turned into us by owners is that either somebody in the family develops allergies to the pet or the pet peripherals, or that they're moving. So in the case of Raven, her owners were moving. We have brought her up to speed on all the vaccines that she needs, the preventatives. We do have her recommended for older children, adult home only. Raven is a German Shepherd that is very busy. German Shepherds in general are very intelligent. You have to be smarter than the dog. You have to have some plan in place to keep their minds active, or they can become destructive. You want to make sure that you have some sort of exercise routine that is above and beyond just letting them out in a fenced yard. They need to play fetch. They need to go on long walks. You can give them time to kind of find things in your backyard, give them commands. Typically, German Shepherds are very loyal, very eager to please, and sometimes the downfall with German Shepherd owners is that they don't recognize the intelligence of the breed, and that can be kind of frustrating for the dog and certainly frustrating for the owner. So we recommend that you do some research prior to, if you're interested in adopting this type of dog, or Raven herself. We do have Raven as going through the puppy adoption process. And what our puppy process means is that we will take up to 4 applications for her. We want to make sure that we know that she is beautiful, she's young, she's purebred, she has a lot of things going for her, but we want to make sure that whomever ends up adopting her understands that she's going to be a lifetime commitment and she needs a job. So prior to coming into looking at Raven, you want to have a plan in place to make the adoption as successful as you can. But again, this is Raven. She is one of our puppies, so her adoption fee is $150, but that covers getting her spayed, microchipped, all the vaccines and preventatives that she needs while she's here at the shelter. The last little pet we're going to look at before we take a short break is Cecil. Cecil is an American bunny. He is chinchilla in color, so he's got that silvery gray to him. He is an adult, and Cecil was brought to us without too much information. He was brought to us back on June 12th, so he's been with us for quite a while. Sort of the pleasure, the interesting part of being an open admission shelter means that we take in any animal that needs us. So Cecil, prior to coming to the shelter, had been passed along from one friend to another, and finally the last friend that got a hold of him just plain out didn't want him, so he ended up here. He has a great temperament. He was in foster care for quite a while, and we do have a lot of foster care providers that they are just the most selfless people you could possibly think of. They take in animals from our shelter to their homes. They work to make them adoptable, to get them healthy, to provide whatever it is that a specific animal needs. That would be a challenge to us in the shelter, so we always appreciate those volunteers in foster care that help us to get these guys adopted. If you have time on your hands, if you've always wanted to foster for us, I suggest that you visit the shelter, ask some questions, call us, fill out an adoption or a foster care application, and start that process. To become a foster care provider, it's pretty simple. You fill out an application. We do set up a home visit, and really the home visit is just to allow us some uninterrupted time to talk to you and kind of explain our expectations and to kind of rule out what your guidelines might be as far as animals, species, or issues that you are willing to take on or not willing to take on. So that helps us make a good, successful match for foster care. But Cecil has been in one of our homes that is very fluent in bunny, so he was there for a month or so and has come back, so now is available for adoption. He is healthy, he is social, temperamentally sound. Prior to leaving here, if he's not already, he will be neutered. That is part of our bunny adoption process. All of our dogs, cats, and bunnies are altered prior to leaving here. But this is Cecil. If you're interested in adopting him, certainly come in and pay him a visit and ask some questions, and we have his medical information that we can share with you. We're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we come back, we will take a look at 5 of our cats and kittens that are looking for forever homes at the Frederick County Division of Animal Control.
Unable to attend a county meeting? No problem. Watch live and archived broadcasts online. Just visit frederickcountymd.gov/FCG-TV and then click the live stream or video archives link.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Using transit has never been easier for smartphone users with the launch of the Transit EasyFare mobile ticketing app. Simply download the free application onto your Apple or Android device, and you'll have everything you need to plan your next ride right in the palm of your hand. Purchase passes quickly and securely, discover the right route, bus numbers, and departure times for your next ride using the Plan Your Trip feature, and stay informed about scheduling changes and other agency news by visiting Transit's Twitter feed. Plus, with visual validation, your phone never has to leave your hand. To learn more about how the Transit EasyFare app can work for you, visit frederickcountymd.gov/transit or call 301-600-2065.
Hi, I'm Tracy, and this is Catherine. We are Frederick County 911 dispatchers, and we're here to tell you what to expect when dialing 911.
We're on the line to listen, and we also have important instructions to give you. Your 911 operator needs to get essential information from you as quickly as possible by asking the following questions in this order.
What is the address of the emergency so we can send the right help to the right location? What is the phone number you're calling from? If the line disconnects, we may need to call you back. What is your name so we can address you properly? And tell me exactly what happened. Asking these questions allows operators to start dispatch to emergencies quickly.
Your 911 operator is often working closely with one or more dispatchers, obtaining important information which is relayed to responders who are on the way to your location while you are still on the phone.
This process is repeated on each call to ensure responders get to each emergency as quickly and safely as possible with the right information to provide the best service they can.
Law enforcement, fire and rescue, and other responders rely on 911 operators and dispatchers to obtain specific information that varies with each type of call. Sometimes it may seem as though your 911 operator is asking a series of unnecessary questions, but in fact this information is vital for getting the right help sent to the right place. Often, help is already on the way while your 911 operator is talking to you.
While emergency crews are responding, dispatchers continue to provide them with updated information gathered by your 911 operator.
Also, your 911 operator may be able to provide you with important life-saving direction, from how to safely exit a building on fire to CPR instruction, providing important information for staying safe and out of danger during a vehicle accident, as well as helping a caller deliver a baby.
For more information, visit frederickcountymd.gov/911 or call the non-emergency number at 301-600-1603.
Welcome back to Pet Pals. Now we're going to take a look at 5 of our cats and kittens that are looking for forever homes in adoptive families. First up is Mocha. Mocha is about 2 years old. He was originally adopted from our shelter, and he's known as a return to shelter, meaning that our adoption contract states that if you adopt an animal from us, we take responsibility for that animal for the rest of its life. So in the event that the adoptive family can't keep the animal for any reason, we ask that the animal come back here so we can place it properly. Mocha came back to us in May. At this point, he has grown up significantly over the past year that he was adopted, and he's right around 12 pounds. He's a big brown tabby, just a basic traditional color and pattern in cats. He's got a great temperament, a little bit shy. We do have him current on all vaccines that he needs. Of course, coming from our shelter to begin with, he is already neutered, he's already microchipped. He would be a relatively quick adoption. He's a little bit on the shy side, so what I would recommend for a home for him is somebody that has had cats before, that is willing to be patient. And oftentimes with any animal, if you're adopting an animal into your family, you want to make sure that your level of patience is right up there at the top of requirements standards that you would hold for yourself, because animals going into a new environment, even if you're cat savvy, they do need some time to acclimate. What we recommend for cats and kittens is about a 10-day course in a room by themselves. It can be a powder room, a bathroom, a small bedroom, just so they can get used to the sounds and routine of your home. And then after that 10 to 14-day period, to put them in a carrier to bring them out so that they can kind of acclimate that way. And it can be a slow process, and typically the slower you take it and the more patience you have, the more successful you'll be. So this is Mocha, though. He is beautiful, he's young, and he is looking for a new family. This little girl is one of our longest residents. Snickers has been here since May 16th, 2015. So a lot of times folks will ask the question, gee, how long do you keep animals as an open admission shelter? You're taking in about 14 animals every day. Well, when animals make it to the adoption floor, we do everything that we possibly can to make sure that they continue to go down that pathway of becoming adopted. So there's no time limit. As long as an animal is relatively healthy and temperamentally sound and behaviorally sound, they can stay with us, as you can note from Snickers, for several months if that needs to happen. She has experienced what most cats do during the summer months when it's overly crowded here with felines. She has developed an upper respiratory but has resolved that. So her immune system is built up from that. We went ahead and we had her spayed when she was first here. She's only about 1.5 to 2 years old. We brought her up to speed on everything she needs as far as vaccines and preventatives. She came to us previously owned, and the reason that she came to us was the person actually found Snickers originally as a stray, kept her for a 2-week period, but that person already had 6 other cats and could not afford to or could not take care of an extra cat. So that's how Snickers came to be here. So if you're interested in a cat like this, she is considered a tortoiseshell with white. She's got that blended, beautiful coat, black and orange with the white offsetting. And she's also a shelter staff favorite. So sometimes when you come to visit the shelter, if it's a little bit overwhelming, which it can be with the number of cats and dogs we have here, this morning's population was right around 160 animals in our shelter system, which is actually average for this time of year. So if it gets to be too many animals, you can't possibly pick one, you can always ask staff or volunteers who they would pick to take home if they could pick one. And I know Snickers would be up there in the listing. But again, this is Snickers. It's been here since May, so if you're looking to adopt, she would be an excellent choice. This handsome fella is Indy. Indy came to us back the middle of July. And the reason Indy ended up at the shelter is because his owners moved to an apartment where they were not allowed to have pets. So they had had Indy for his whole life. He's about 5 years old, and Indy is about 15 pounds. So he's on the large side of the cat weight spectrum for adult cats. He would probably do better at maybe 12 pounds or so. Overall, he's a large structured cat. So being a bigger weight than your average, 8 or 9 pound cat is appropriate for him, but certainly carrying extra weight is not a good idea for any cat or dog. He came to us already neutered. We've brought him up to speed on any vaccines. Similar to many cats, especially this time of year, through the summer, we refer to kitten season being from spring until September sometimes, where we have an influx of lots of cats and kittens. So Indy came in during that time, experienced an upper respiratory infection, not unusual when you've got lots of the same species of animal within a limited space. So we've treated him with antibiotics. He has certainly resolved that upper respiratory infection issue. He is available for adoption. And Indy's a good story. A lot of times animals come to us and their whole world changes. In a split second, their owners have decided that they don't want them, can't keep them, whatever the circumstances, and they end up in a small little stainless steel cage with, a towel, a litter box, food and water, especially in when we're talking about cats. So initially, Indy was given what we affectionately refer to as a wild box. And it's a plastic box with a plexiglass front. The cats can get in and out. We take the front off, but that offers them some privacy. And so for Indy, as being as shy as he once was, he certainly acclimated over time. And we give credit to our kennel staff for kind of interacting with him and giving him the opportunity to graduate up from a wild box. So now he is on our adoption floor. But again, a lot of times with cats, one of the keys to acclimating them is just to give them some privacy, not stare them down, and so our staff is very literate at doing that. So we always appreciate when we witness situations like Indy where he was really, really shy and we weren't sure what was going to happen to him, to now he's become an adoptable cat. This little guy, or not so little guy, is Ziggy, and Ziggy might be a familiar face on Pet Pals, but we like him, so that's why we put him on again this week. He's a gorgeous domestic short hair, brown tabby in color and pattern, and he's just about 10 months old. He's already neutered. He is snap tested negative for leukemia and FIV. Those are 2 viruses that cats can carry. They are transmissible from cat to cat. So every cat, prior to going to the adoption floor, we do test for those viruses, and of course we recommend that you talk to your veterinarian. Sometimes leukemia can test negative on day 1, and then 30 to 90 days later might test positive. But Ziggy has been with us since the middle part of August. He's been relatively healthy. We've brought him up to speed on everything that he needs, including a rabies vaccine. And again, about 10 months old. He was turned in for harassing the older cat in the family. So again, if you need information on how to best introduce cats and kittens, or cats to cats, or kittens and kittens, we can certainly offer up several techniques and some suggestions. The primary suggestion that we always offer is that you put your newcomer to the family in an isolation area just temporarily, just so they get to know the routine of the household. It allows them to introduce themselves from a safe place to your existing population by way of vocalization and just the sounds and smells of another presence of an animal. And you just want to make sure that you have patience, again, at the top of the list in pet ownership. Patience is invaluable to introducing animals to your home, to introducing new pets to your family. You just want to make sure that you have as much information on board as you can, and that you understand that cats may not make friends right away, and especially if there's an age difference or a gender difference, they might be likely to harass your existing pet. But this is Ziggy. He's certainly very sweet, very agreeable to being handled, held, very social, so we're looking forward to placing him. So you hear us talk about kitten season, and Gabe is a good example of the types of animals that we take in all summer long, and it's only August, so we've got another 6 weeks or so where we will continue to see the influx of young kittens. Gabe came to us about a week ago. He's about 14 weeks old. He's just about 4 pounds, and we have him color-coded blue. So what that means is if you're looking for a pet to introduce to your family, blue animals with their little cage cards that are blue in color mean that they are more likely to be lap cats, lap dogs, very social bunnies, and Gabe is color-coded blue. He's a gray tabby, domestic short hair, came to us previously owned, and again, it was a situation where the person found him, had him in their possession just for a short while, and then decided that they couldn't keep him. So he's with us now. Prior to leaving here, he'll be neutered, he'll be microchipped, he will be current on all vaccines, and he's a sweet little guy. So if don't ever feel guilty. I know some people come into shelters and they feel sorry for our older cats, and we feel compassion for our older cats. A lot of times during the summer they get overlooked, but if you really have it on your mind and in your heart that you want to adopt a kitten, do that. If you can commit to Gabe for the rest of his life, cats live an average of 15 years, and you can keep him safe, if you can keep him up to speed on vaccines, make sure he sees a vet at least once a year, then there's no shame and no harm in adopting a kitten if that's truly what you are looking to adopt. So I recommend that certainly you come in. We've got an influx still of cats and kittens this time of year, so if you're looking for a feline, this would be a good time to come in and visit and see what kittens we have on our adoption floor. Gabe is certainly one of many. Thanks for joining us this week on Pet Pals. We hope you have a great week. Certainly we've always got animals available for adoption at the Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. So if you're looking to adopt, we invite you to visit us. Have a great week. We'll see you next time on Pet Pals.